Okay, people. So those crazy kids at Small Town Monsters are back. Yes, that is correct. Right? They are just about to drop their new documentary, right? Which is a follow up on their On the Trail of UFO series, right? This one is Night Visitors. Okay, so it is written and directed by Seth Breedlove. Yo, and remember we spoke to Seth back in I think it was 2020, right? I think. I don't know, man. I lose track. But yeah, he writes and directs, and we follow Shannon LeGro from On the Fray, right, as she investigates all of these weird sightings. You know, the gist is this: do cattle mutilations still plague the American West? According to the latest documentary from Small Town Monsters, the phenomenon, which was popularized through references in shows like The X Files and Unsolved Mysteries, continues to this day. On the Trail of UFOs, Night Visitors unveils a detailed look at the ongoing UFO activity occurring across the country through interviews with investigators and eyewitnesses. The feature length documentary promises to take viewers on a journey into a side of the subject that they've never explored. Night Visitors is the follow up to the widely successful 2020 miniseries On the Trail of UFOs and 2021's On the Trail of UFOs Dark Sky. Right, so yeah, I said it follows Shannon LeGro as she searches for answers across the stunning mountains and prairie lands of Colorado. Her search takes her deep into often overlooked and deeply disturbing sides of the UAP topic: cattle mutilations and human abductions. Yeah. Now, people, does that speak to you? You know what I mean? Does that speak to you? So, yeah, they investigate a whole heap of people, one of which is Tom Miller, right? Who's a cattle rancher. Um, yeah, there's a lot of people. Hey, they also give a shout out to Angela Hills. You know what I mean? I think it's her aunt and uncle, right? Who got abducted by aliens, right? Which was just like, oh shit. Yeah. But it's definitely like all of these things are interesting. You know what I mean? Just like you don't have to believe it, right? Sometimes you know what I mean, things can come off a little like, I don't know, right? I don't know. But I will say I'm kind of open, right? I'm skeptical, but I'm skeptical. Yeah, yeah. But I'm open. You know what I mean? It's like I think there's definitely shit out there. I mean, space is so fucking big. And people, so is the ocean. You know what I mean? There's parts of the ocean we have not even touched. So, yeah, aliens could be out there, extraterrestrials, beings from other places, you know? Now, with some of the stuff people say, do I believe them? I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting to see, right, the rationale of some of the people talking. I do think some people, you know what I mean? It's like it could be a little dubious, right? Especially when like we meet an investor. I forget her name. She's got blonde hair. So you'll know the one. Because I think there's only one blonde woman. I think there might be more. I don't know, people. I can't see for shit. Right? Anyway, so we have this blonde woman, and she's an investigator, and she's talking throughout the film, and being like, oh yeah, so we looked into this and we do this and blah 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 blah. We then find out a little something about her, which I think could call into question everything, right? Could call into question everything. There's another dude they speak to about his experience, but now there's no reference of this. This is just me. The way he's like, he's mad shifty. He's mad like just he looked a little, you know what I mean? And he's looking down all the time. It kind of came off that he could be a crankhead, right? Now, hey, he might not be, right? That might just be me overreaching. So if it is, my man, I apologize. But he did come off like he might be up on something. You know what I mean? He might be fiending for something, which then makes me question. Now, it's entertaining, right? The way he's breaking it down, though we do get that thing, right? It's like in horror films when it's just like people hear a noise and they're safely in the yard, but for some reason they go outside or they go into a cellar or a room where there's no other exit, and you're just like, what are you doing? Like, that makes no sense. So when my man's talking, he's like, oh yeah, so kept on hearing this noise, so I went outside. I'd be like, yo, why you go outside? Why would you go outside? You know what I mean? So yeah, there's things like that. One thing that was also amusing, we visit a lady who has I think it's like, it was called the Alien Watchtower. There was no tower. Right? There's no tower. You can't call it an alien watchtower unless you've got a fucking tower. At least build some sort of shape. It doesn't have to be mad levels tall. Even if it was just, 2-3 levels, I'd at least be like, okay, it's some, but there is no tower. Why are you calling it a tower? There's nothing there. You're just sitting on a fucking deck chair in the dirt. What up with that? Huh? But yeah, that's like, because you're getting all these stories of stuff. It's funny how like people will break it out and they'll be like, yeah, no, so that definitely shows this, and everything's a definite. And I'm like, yo, if you were a bit more circumvent with with your description, I might be a bit more. But when you're saying no, so yeah, basically that definitely shows that that thing was done by blah blah blah. And you're like, I don't know if you can say that. Are you a surgeon? Are you a vet? Like, do you have, straight knowledge of this shit? If not, you can't talk on that. You can make your assumptions. That's all fine. But you can't be all definite. These people be all definite. Like, yeah, no. So we definitely saw, black helicopters disappear into the mountain. Did you now? Like, did you? Hey, if you're living in mad heat, you know what I mean? Like, your eyes will play tricks on you, you know? As Scarface once said. Oh, my hip hop heads will know that one, people. But yeah, or heat stroke, right? And there's also groupthink. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get all these people going, oh yeah, so yeah, I saw this light, and it went into rectangles, and then it went back into saucers, and then it went blah 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 blah. I'm like, there is a groupthink mentality where people will say the same, because this isn't, you know what I mean, 1900s where news doesn't travel, right? This is the age of the internet. You can look up these stories, you can look up things people say, you can watch videos on YouTube and whatnot. So it doesn't necessarily surprise me when you have people talking in the same fashion, you know, using the same descriptive terms, right? There are times I think people could be led slightly. There's when you're talking to someone about this and you say, you know, they're breaking something down and you go, that's interesting. Now, when that happened, did you think blah blah blah? Because a lot of people have said that, and they're like, "Yeah, that's what I thought." They're like, "Yeah, don't give them anything. Let them say the shit." You know what I mean? It was just safely like, "Yo, that's crazy. What else happened? Right? How did you feel?" That's fine, but don't give them anything to be like, "Yes, that definitely happened to me too. That definitely happened to me too." But as I say, this is highly entertaining. It's highly entertaining. I liked the production where, you know what I mean, they when they are making transitions and things like that from scene to scene, like sometimes they do a little glitchy effect, like it's, you know, you're in the Matrix or something, right? Which I thought that was fun, you know. And as I said, look, they cover a lot of stuff. They break it down in a way that's easily digestible for you. You know, so when you're watching it, it's just like, yo, that's clear. Okay, boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? So, hey, it's put together well. And if you're a fan of all the content from Small Monsters, yo, you'll be down with this. You know what I mean? This will be your jam for sure, people. This will be your jam. So, April the 5th, mark it down on the calendars. There's the pre order links in the episode information, right? So, if you want to copy it, right, we've got a link for Amazon, and people, we have a link for iTunes. So, yeah, if you want, right, this new join on the trail of UFOs, night visitors, then boom, people, go support Seth and the crew, right? Seth and Shannon did some good work here. And yeah, it's, you know, in the vein of previous stuff. So, yo, if you're down with that, then you will definitely be enjoying this new jaunt on the supernatural side.